O mountains of Mecca, what can you say of the day that Abraham passed your way? And he was instructed by God to build a house of peace where people will pray, and they will come on every lean camel and out of every ravine for the purpose of praising Allah, to glorify Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Hajj Insights. I'm your host Ridwan Shamim, and with us is Sheikh Muhammad Salah, who's been with us throughout this journey of Hajj. We've learned so much and we've gone so forward. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallahu khair for all this advice and knowledge you've given us, Sheikh. We really appreciate it.
Barakallahu feek. Thank you, it's my pleasure.
And I'm sure the viewers there are very happy and very appreciative to what they've learned so far.
Alhamdulillah.
We still haven't finished off the journey, even though it's been a brilliant journey so far. We've reached the stage of leaving Muzdalifah and arriving at Mina and throwing the stones. What do we do from this point onwards, Sheikh?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa la siyama al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathiran wa ba'd. The activities of the Eid day, which is the 10th day of the month of Muharram, are as follows. This order is the same order that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam followed in his only Hajj, first and last, the farewell Hajj or Hajjatul Wada. Arrived at Mina, through the 7 peoples, slaughter his hadi, then shaved his head, then he headed to Mecca to perform Tawaful Ifada, and he returned back, Tawaful Ifada and Sa'i, then he returned back to Mina.
Okay.
Few days, as we'll explain. This order is the ideal order, but doing otherwise is also permissible.
Okay.
Why? Is it because we're trying to make things easy because of the crowd and we are in modern times? No, simply we have to rely on an evidence. Some of the companions came to the Prophet ﷺ on the day and said, "Oops, O Messenger of Allah, I actually did I did slaughter before I threw the stones, or I shaved before I slaughtered, or."
Yeah.
Nobody came to the Prophet ﷺ saying, "I did this before that," but he said, "If'al wa la haraj." Do the rest, and there is no blame on you. So he approved all of that. And that shows the ease of our deen and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
These manasik, when you reflect upon all of them, we go from a place to another, and we do this and we do that, is actually following the procedures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son Ismail. When they both invoked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after completing the construction of the Kaaba and said, وَأَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. Show us our manasik. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail. So we're following this. And every step and every nusuk has a significance that we need to reflect and ponder on. Once we throw the stones and we say the takbiratul Eid, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd, and there are different other forms.
Yeah.
Oral, okay, but this is the most sound. We alternate between different types of dhikr, but as I said, the talbiyah will be seized. Now I want to stop for a while with al-hadi.
Okay.
Al-hadi is a must for every person who is performing, whether Hajjul Tamattu or Hajjul Qiran. And both are the same, except for the fact that in Hajjul Tamattu we take a break, we do tahallul after performing Umrah to make a new intention on the 8th day of the month of Dhul Hijjah.
Okay.
So you're required to offer a hadi. And the hadi is different than the fidyah, because al-hadi and al-udhiyah share the following facts. That you slaughter it after completing the manasik in Mina, and you distribute 1/3 of it upon the poor, 1/3 to your friends, and you can keep yourself 1/3 for yourself and your family.
Okay.
So you eat out of it. But in the case of the fidyah, which is prescribed to rectify a violation or skipping a wajib, you cannot touch it yourself. You slaughter it, you distribute it upon the poor, but you do not eat or drink even of its soup.
Okay.
So once you do that, or appoint somebody, a wakil, to do it on your behalf, you should consider it done. Why? Some people take it very hard upon themselves. I myself was one of those who, in the beginning, I would insist on going to slaughter the Hajj by myself. What I used to go to the slaughterhouse, spend several hours, wait in the line, then slaughter my Hajj, and after it is slaughtered, I don't know what to do with it. I'm not going to carry a sheep with me or a cow. I just leave it there and say, you guys distribute it.
Yeah.
So what was the purpose of this entire time being wasted? I just left it there. Unless if you guys are local people where you know exactly what you're going to do with it. And that's why I really love what the local authorities have done and approved our great scholars that by appointing a company of those official companies or the banks, they sell us the vouchers of the Hajj. You buy it whether from your country or when you reach there from Mecca or Medina or anywhere, then you forget about it, you consider it done. Some people would ask, Sheikh, but how do I know that this company have slaughtered my sheep? And did they mention my name at it and say, oh Allah, this is slaughtered on behalf of such and such? It's not necessary.
It's not.
It is not necessary. And if you really want to wait until your sheep is slaughtered, then you got to wait for several days. Because we're talking about easy 4 million head.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. So you consider it done. And if you ever bought the voucher from a reliable company, then you go to shave or shorten your hair. As we explained in the state of, by the way, shaving is a nusuk.
Okay.
Shaving is a part of the nusuk, the Hajj rituals. And that's why our great Imam, Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, said, I have learned from a barber a lot with regards to the Hajj nusuk that I did not know before.
Yeah.
When he finished, he grabbed hold of a barber and said, give me a shave my head. He said, okay. He said, how much would you charge me? He said, Ya Hajj, there is no bargain concerning the nusuk. So whatever you pay. He said, I didn't know that. Or at least I've known it, but did not pay attention to it. So he's learned practically how to do this. Then when he sat down in a way that he gave him his left side. He said, no, give me your right side. I should begin with the right side. As I'm sure that we'll watch some clips showing that we start from the right side. And as he was shaving his head, he was quiet. He said, why are you quiet? Who's teaching whom? The barber. Because he is doing this very frequently, so he has an experience in this area. And Imam Abu Hanifa, the greatest Imam of fiqh, did not have any problem learning from this ordinary person. And he transferred that to us as well as is. He said, make takbir, make dhikr. As I said, there is something common in all the manasik of Hajj. So he started making the takbir. So when you shave, you start with the right side of your head, and you make the takbirat and the dhikr while you are shaving, because this is a part of the nusuk. In the day, if you have a chance to perform tawaful ifada, fine.
Okay.
And this is the most ideal case. But once again, we'll go back to plan B. Why? Because there is 4 million people who want to do the same thing. Is it possible?
No.
For 4 million people or 3 million people or even 2 to do tawaf and sa'i, throw the stones and do tawaf and sa'i and come back before sunset on the same day? It's almost impossible. It is actually impossible. So it is permissible to postpone tawaful ifada to the following day or to the last day of Ayyam al-Tashriq. Some scholars said it's even permissible as long as you're staying in Mecca to the end of the year, the last day of the month of Dhul Hijjah.
Okay.
So in Mina, also these are the days of adhkar.
Yes.
And dhikrullah azza jal. The Quran says, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ فِي أَيَّامٍ مَعْدُودَاتٍ فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ لِمَنِ اتَّقَى. What does it mean? And remember Allah much in certain number of days.
Yeah.
These are أيام التشريق, the Eid day and أيام التشريق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said then, فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. So whoever rushes and leaves right after spending 2 days other than the Eid day,
Yeah.
then there is no blame on him. So the 11th and the 12th, providing you should leave before sunset. وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. And whosoever delays until he completes the course, which is the 13th day of the month of Dhul Hijjah, then there is no blame on him, and that is the ideal as well. So both are permitted. Only if you decide to leave on the 12th day, which is the 3rd day of the Eid, you should leave before sunset. But what do we do as long as we're staying in Mina? And how much time should we spend in Mina, the obligatory part versus the sunnah? What do? Every day we throw the stones, which we may collect from Mina itself, 21 stones, 7 stones at each jamrah. Jamratul Aqabat al-Kubra, which we threw on the Eid day, was the nearest to Mecca, and the furthest away from Mina, by the end of Mina and approaching Mecca. On the first day of Ayyam al-Tashriq, which is the second day to Eid, and the 3rd and the 4th, if we're throwing the stones on the 4th, we begin from Jamratul Aqabat al-Sughra, Al-Jamratul Sughra. We throw 7 stones. With each time we throw a stone, we say, Allahu Akbar, and you raise your hand very high. You say, Allahu Akbar. So you do not throw the 7 stones
all at once.
And as we said, small, the size of chickpeas. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Then you go to the second Jamrah, it's like 150 meters in between each 2 Jamras. You throw 7 pebbles as well. And the third one likewise, but after the first Jamrah. And the second Jamrah, it is recommended to wait for a while, face Mecca, the Qibla, and make dua. But not after the third one. We notice that these are all manasik that we follow as is, because we were instructed to do so. So making dua will be after throwing the first and the second, but not the third one. For those who are unable to throw the stones by themselves, they can ask somebody else to do it in their stead. But that person must be performing Hajj himself or herself, and must begin by throwing the stones on behalf of himself or herself first. Then, after throwing the stones at the first, or Jamratul Aqabat al-Sughra, Al-Jamratul Sughra, he will throw the stones on behalf of the other person. Notice here, it is not permissible to volunteer to throw the stones on behalf of somebody without being appointed. There is a condition that the person must tell you that, well, I cannot go, so would you please throw the stones on my behalf.
We're going to go for a short break now, so Jazakallah khair. Stay with us, viewers, and we'll be back after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Inshallah, on the straight path, we would like to discuss the niqab from an Islamic and social political perspective.
So sometimes some non-Muslims, they might not understand the full Islamic pictures. Anyone can say anything about it. So when can we, who speaks for Islam? This is the biggest question. Who speaks for Islam? No, they are not sinning. They are not sinning, but we are talking about now the general ruling. They are not sinning, but they are going against what has been established. It is his own ijtihad at a specific time.
People would see it as
threat.
A threat.
Exactly.
How do we explain to them it's not really a threat, it's actually good for the country as well? But if we don't participate, how would we ever reach to our rights? Can you clarify with us what should be the level of political participation of the Muslims in the West?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. And we're coming to the final stages of our journey. And we'll have the Shaykh continue, Jazakallah khair, our final stages from the throwing of the stones to the Jamarat al-Aqaba.
Wajazakum. Well, we said you throw the stones whether on behalf of yourself or then after that you throw on behalf of others if you have been appointed. And we spend those days, اذكروا الله في أيام معدودات, in Mina, enjoy eating, drinking, celebrating Eid, getting to know one another, attending classes of knowledge, asking the shuyukh questions, studying the Quran, spending some of the most beautiful time that perhaps you will ever experience in your life. If somebody wants to go to Mecca to perform Tawaf al-Ifada during any of the days of Ayyam al-Tashriq, it is permissible. And here is an advice, which is, if you see everybody is going and the traffic jam is completely stagnant, then you can just postpone it. Or what is the purpose of spending 6 and 7 and 8 hours sitting in the bus during the daytime, not doing anything but just sitting in the bus? That's fine for if you want to. But if it is that crowded, then you can just go to your camp, change into a new set. And by the way, that's called At-Tahallul Al-Awwal. Or Al-Asghar, because in order to have a complete Tahallul, you have to perform the Tawaf and the Sa'i.
In the previous episodes, you spoke about there being 2 types of this Tahallul. Would you just go on slightly more and explain?
Shaving or trimming the hair is a part of the nusuk, the Hajj rites. Okay, it will allow you to change into your regular clothes, and all the restrictions which were applied during Ihram will be lifted, except for having an intimate relationship with one spouse. That is waiting on performing the Tawaf. So once you do it, Tawaf al-Ifada, once you do it, now you can have this kind of relationship. What I want to say is, what if somebody had performed Hajj al-Qiran? Hajj al-Qiran, there is a privilege for those who do Hajj al-Qiran, that they get to do only one sa'i. So have they performed the sa'i after the tawaf of the Umrah? They don't have to do another sa'i after the tawaf al-Ziyara or tawaf al-Ifada or tawaf al-Hajj. Or they can postpone the sa'i after Umrah to be done after Tawaf al-Ifada. So 2 Tawaf, 1 for Umrah and 1 for Hajj, but only 1 sa'i either way. What if somebody wants to do sa'i after Tawaf al-Umrah, Tawaf al-Qudum, and another sa'i after Tawaf al-Ifada? That is perfectly fine. All of that is fine. The beautiful days that we spend in Mina, between dhikr and other activities, what's required is to spend most of the night
in Mina.
Most of the night. Some people afterward like to go to the Haram to pray there and stay to pray Tahajjud or stay in the Haram until they pray Fajr, then they return. That too is permissible. But the Sunnah is to stay the entire time in Mina, as long as you've done with Tawaf al-Ifada and the Sa'i. But those who go back and forth, those who have some other activities, especially nowadays, you have to confirm the tickets, you have to check out, you have to do things like that. It is permissible. What's required is spend most of the night. Throwing the stones is a wajib. Somebody who did not throw the stones in the first day until sunset is allowed to throw it past that. Or even the next day if they did not have a chance. But alhamdulillah, lately, especially the last couple of years, it has become very easy for everybody to throw the stones with ease. What we used to hear about in the past, Tambid and all of that, completely eliminated. Because the area is much more organized. There are several bridges, several layers. There's an in and out. The traffic is very, very smooth, so there is no problem. The best time for the Ayyam al-Tashriq to throw the stones, the ideal time is past Az-Zawal. Once you pray Dhuhr or you hear the Adhan of Dhuhr, once the sun moves away from its meridian, you can go and extend it until sunset and even past sunset. This is what I said, the ideal time. During some times, whenever it is very crowded or you are tied up and you do not have a chance, you can still make it up even past midnight. When some people decide to leave without throwing the stones and without completing the course, at least the minimum, which is 2 days of Ayyam al-Tashriq in Mina, they've committed 2 violations. Not throwing the stones, so they owe a fidya for that. And not staying in Mina, not spending at least most of the night, and that requires another fidya. Some people leave and they ask others to throw the stones on their behalf. That doesn't work. Why? Because you're somewhere else. You left already. If you're in Mina and disabled, you're eligible to have somebody to throw the stones on your behalf. Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafah, these are beautiful memories. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to inspire us to benefit from these stations that the Hujjaj would go by and enjoy walking the same footsteps of Prophet Ibrahim and Ismail, peace be upon them, and the rest of the prophets who performed Hajj. In one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that every prophet had performed Hajj. And he had pointed to some areas where he has said that Prophet so-and-so performed Hajj and he was standing here, etc. And following the guidance and the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, keep in mind that Hajj is one of the greatest gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to those who will be invited to perform Hajj. So we should really, really appreciate that gift.
It's an invitation.
Obviously, it is not about possessing the means. No. It's not about being the most physically fit person. No. It's about being invited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Few millions out of 1.5 billion Muslims are invited every year. So if your name is in the list, you should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should seize this opportunity and learn how to do Hajj proper, control your temper, increase your patience, increase your iman, pray for yourself and for the entire ummah at large. And don't forget, before leaving the sacred place, Mecca, to perform Tawaful Wada', the farewell Tawaf. That's a must. And if any person left without performing Tawaful Wada', they're required to give a fidya, sacrifice to be slaughtered in Mecca and distributed amongst the poor Meccans or the poor people who are living in Mecca. Women who started their menses after performing Tawaful Ifada are exempt from performing Tawaful Wada', and they do not owe any fidya.
Jazakallah khair. That was brilliant journey we had through Hajj. Would you just say a few words about, once you've completed your Hajj and you return to your country of origin, what should there be in your life as a change?
That is the real test. When the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Hajjul Mabrur laysa lahu jaza'un illa al-Jannah. Al-Hajj, which will be accepted by Allah, its reward is nothing but paradise, or nothing less than paradise. Al-Mabrur, the scholar said, Al-Mabrur means accepted. And how do we know that our Hajj has been accepted? There are some signs. Number 1, that you performed Hajj from a lawful earning. Number 2, you were well-mannered. Number 3, you followed the manasik of the Prophet ﷺ properly. Number 4, that remains to test you after returning back. Hajj is a turning point, and it should be a turning point in the life of every Hajj, not just in the life of the sinners, but in the life of the righteous ones, to increase their iman, to be better people, to draw nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gave you another chance in the Quran. He criticized the claim of those whom whenever they see the angel of death, they say, رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ لَعَلِّي أَعْمَلُ صَالِحًا فِي مَا تَرَكْتُ. Give me a respite, I may do better, give me some time, give me a chance. There Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you a new life. رَجَعَ كَيَوْمِ وَلَدَتْهُ أُمُّهُ. So control what we say, we control what we do, and we only do what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we abstain from anything that upsets Him or displeases Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we do that, it's a great sign that Hajj has been accepted.
SubhanAllah. Wallahi, jazakallahu khair for all your advice that you've given us. We've really enjoyed this trip of Hajj with yourself and the knowledge you gave us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the people that have done their Hajj and those who are going to do their Hajj, and make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give everyone the ability to go and perform Hajj and let it be accepted. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to really accept this action of ours in learning and teaching about this great pilgrimage, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from the people of Jannah. Jazakallahu khair for your time and your efforts, and we wish you to stay with Huda TV. And remember, if there's any type of episodes that you missed, you can catch it all on our website at hudatv.com. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Mountains of Mecca, what can you tell of the day that stones from the sky fell, destroying an army determined to break the house of Allah that Abraham built? Oh, mountains of Mecca, how was the dawn on the day that my prophet Muhammad was born? How did it feel knowing he was to be the last and most beloved of all? Rasul of Allah, Nabi